Hey guys, welcome back to the Average Unformed. Today we are going to try something a little bit different. We're going to play a game called Love It, Hate It, where one person has to love the movie and the other person has to hate it, regardless of their opinion. This time we chose Commando, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Enjoy. Well, Victor. All right.
Ready to go?
Oh,
Do you want to count it down? Count it off?
like, do I start at one?
So start at
Like one
three.
to go to three, or is it three down to zero?
Three, and then you start on hypothetical 4.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe we'll just keep counting. Happy Halloween, Victor.
I'm sad that I'm too old to trick or treat, but I'm not old enough to die yet.
Anyway,
Speaking of dressing up, speaking of dressing up, it's not really Halloween, but I got this cool little thing coming up Friday. It's called Eve of the Vigilant
Citizen. Wait, let's try that again. The Eve of the
Vigilant
Vigil.
I hate you.
Vigilante.
Yes, I swear it's the whiskey. It's stressing
The
me
Eve of the Vigilant Citizen.
Citizen. But my friend Adrian's sister is part of this event. I don't know if she's hosting it or if she's running it or if she's just part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one, this is the second one they're hosting. The first one they did back in August. I wasn't here. And apparently it was a big hit. But it takes place in 1929. You buy your ticket and they send you like a character sheet. But
it takes place in 1929.
Yeah. And when you purchase a ticket to this...
So it already happened. That's what you're saying.
No. This is an alternate timeline. Time's not really linear. So if you jump into this other dimension, it could be like dinosaurs roaming the earth.
Okay, so what do you do at this party? Is it a party? Is it like a fancy get-together dinner? Like, what is it? Paint me a word picture.
It is a very exclusive party that takes place in 1929.
Right, so it already...
Yeah.
I'll stop going back to that one.
But it's like when you sign up, they send you like a character that you're supposed to embody for the whole evening. And you can, there is apparently a goal to this. I wasn't told very much.
Is it like a murder mystery night without the murder?
So it's just a mystery?
Or you just dress up and pretend to be somebody else? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's 1929.
Probably not. So it's already happened. And you can go there. You can, based on what I heard from the first one, you can go there, you just hang out, have your drinks, mingle with people, talking your weird 1929 accents. Or you can try to figure out what this event is.
What is the Vigilant Citizen? Because it's a mystery.
Mm-hmm. So this email I got, this is my character, actually. His name is Van Riva.
Wait, so is this so exclusive that you're going to get in trouble for putting this all online?
I mean, by the time people hear this, it's already happened. I don't know, actually.
I know, but will you be invited back? Is that a goal? You've never been, right?
I've never been.
It might be a total drag when you get there.
Yeah. I could go there and just be a bunch of nerds dressed up in steampunk gear.
So then you have to buy a costume for this.
Not really. I looked up what my character's a gambler. Let me just read my character.
All right. His name's Van Riva, you said?
Yeah. So I could start this off. I can go into this whole evening with an accent, or I can, play it pretty chill with my North American accent. Or I can go in as Count Van Riva.
I don't think he's a count, though.
He's not. It is I, the great Van Riva. Great. I've already fucked this up.
And he's Bolivian. What does a Bolivian sound like? That's South America, right? Bolivia's in South America. So that would be probably Spanish they speak, or Portuguese.
Yes.
So
maybe.
Probably not like this.
Oh, it's exactly like this.
He's not Count Dracula.
It's Count Chocula, actually. But I playing around with the idea. I think it'd be hilarious if I went that. Maybe they might kick me out though.
Yeah.
My accent.
You've probably never met a true Bolivian like me. Because I don't sound like I'm from Bolivia.
But if you read the rest of the bio,
sorry, go ahead.
You're a successful gambler. You wear a persona of boisterous. Is that how you say it? Boisterous?
Boisterous, yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
It just means like you're not flamboyant, but like you're just kind of like in
whatever.
In everyone's
you wear the persona
face.
of a boisterous foreigner, since that's more interesting than reality. You're actually a local that's never traveled much. You need a new hustle, something to keep you interested. Maybe you'll find it at this strange event. I don't know. Like I can go there and I just as a gambler. I just go up dressed in like a suit. I went to like the Salvation Army, just grabbed like a cheap jacket and vest.
Okay, yeah, you should get that. You should get a bowler hat.
Where am I gonna find a bowler hat? I don't want to wear a hat all night.
Oh, it'd be fun.
It won't.
You need a monocle because you're probably rich.
But my mom buys me all these like I don't want to say shitty jewelry, but
she buys you jewelry that you will never wear in your life.
Yeah, they're so tacky. Like this one, it looks like a fucking dragon on it.
Can I see
Black and gold ring.
It looks like a class ring or like a family crest ring, but this is not your family crest. I assume
my family crest is probably like a bunch of dragons and like.
Well, this
tigers.
is a dragon.
Okay, well
I don't know.
Back myself into a corner here.
Yeah,
but it's.
But yeah, I remember one time your mom came to visit when you and I lived together, and she bought you this ridiculous leather cuff bracelet. I think it had a big S on it.
Yeah.
And
no, she didn't buy me that. One of her friends got me that.
Okay, still, but none of your initials are S.
No, there's not a single S in my name. I think I threw that out within like a week.
Yeah.
But you want to hear about Adrian's character?
Sure. Adrian is a friend of Victor's.
Yes, he's very...
We've referenced him a few times, but...
Yes. Very interesting fellow. Perfect example. His character is a pilot that fought in World War One. World War One.
Would be one, yeah.
And apparently he's taking it as his character is 70 years old. So he's kind of senile. So I convinced him to get like a wig.
In 1929?
Yeah. I was like, wait. I think we left the Halloween store after you chose his wig. And I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. So like if you're 70, does that mean you were like 58, 59 when you fought in the war?
Yeah, because when was World War One? It was
1914 to 1918.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
No, so what, did they just have too many airplanes or not enough?
The Red Baron's not killing enough of us.
Oh yeah, let's get this old dude.
Wait, was Red Baron World War II? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it must be because they had those shitty planes. And that's what the Red Baron's
biplanes, right?
Yeah, the ones that couldn't decide if they were. Terrible.
So anyway, this is a big event. It's not just like your friend Katrina has organized it for 12 people. It's like for dozens and dozens.
There are dozens of us. Dozens. Yeah, apparently the first one was like a big hit. Like they sold out within like a few weeks.
It does sound pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's some role playing in there.
Yeah, and
you should really like listen to somebody with a Bolivian accent before you go.
Oh no.
No.
Or I can go talk with my... Wait. Actually, that's another point. Like, I'm Asian.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Are you sure?
Like, 1929s. Like, what? Like, would I be a server there? Technically? Well, I wouldn't be on the main floor mingling with the guests.
I don't... See, that's the thing with those types of events. I think they're pretty blind to race. They just pretend that you're not. That those problems didn't exist back then.
Fair.
Oh.
That'd be awkward. I get there. It's like, whoa. Why are you coming through the front door? There's another entrance for you people.
Well, I remember, you remember my friend TJ?
Yes.
He's a black guy. And
you can't say that.
And we used to work at camp together. And one of the camps we worked at, there was always a theme night in the middle of the week. And so this particular theme was 1950s. So TJ decided to dress up in a white button-up collared shirt and black pants, and he protested.
I knew I liked TJ.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think those types of events, people just like to forget that there was ever race issues.
Yeah.
Because we've solved racism, right? Like that's no longer an issue.
Well, I mean,
you don't hear about it anymore.
I guess.
Shame,
really. But they started sending, like, I got this 5 days ago. there's like an Instagram account for them, and there's like newspaper articles.
How modern of them.
I know, right? They're really sticking with it. But apparently there's clues in these things. If you read it, it gives you a little bit of a head start on what the event is and what to look for when you're there. And like I was originally going to, but I don't know if I care enough.
Yeah.
Wait, what if one of my character was from the South?
No. Well, they are. They're from South America.
But like South U.S., you know? Walked in there with my cards in hand. I don't know if you can do that.
It literally says you're from Bolivia.
No. I have a Bolivian accent. But technically, I'm a local.
You're from the South. Like
I'm a local here.
I'm from Bolivia.
I don't know if you can tell from my accent.
I'm a gambling man.
Watch my horse. He's outside. He's a little bit cold, so he might have a temper right now.
Oh, I mean, it sounds cool. It sounds fun. You're gonna have to tell us all about it.
Oh, I will if I make it out of there.
Should we address the now lost episode of the what's our show called again? The Average Uninformed.
All right, I actually forgot about that. This technically would replace that episode, and
so this is going to be episode 3, obviously, but there was one we recorded last week.
Or maybe I'll just label it episode 4, keep the mystery going.
Yeah, there you go.
Because it's already been labeled mystery.
Yeah. So I it's just wanted to bring it up because we might be like, oh yeah, we talked about this already, but maybe we haven't.
We talked about Mysterio, we talked about Spider-Man's new suit, and we talked about me coming back from Iceland, and then me going to a cottage with 9 other crazy people.
And I went to a show that you'll never find out about now.
Oh, yeah, apparently not.
The sound did not work.
But no, your mic was super staticky for some reason, and it made you sound super robot-y.
Yeah, but, whatever.
How does your mic sound now? Is that all right?
No problems. 5 by 5. Anyway, I got some grievances I want to talk about before we move on.
Grievances?
Yeah. So it's Halloween, right?
Halloween?
Okay, so on Facebook when people share their memories, like Facebook says, hey, you posted this a year ago or 3 years ago.
Oh, it doesn't stop anymore.
Yeah. Can we stop posting your old Halloween costumes? If Facebook reminds you that you dressed up as Casey Jones 2 years ago, like I barely care about your costume this year. No one cares that you dressed up as Pikachu 3 years ago.
I didn't dress up as Pikachu.
I'm not talking you. I'm talking you, the listener. But anyway, that's a grievance. I just noticing that today. I was just checking Facebook before I left to come over here, and it's getting ridiculous. It's like one person had like over the past 5 years all of his costumes, and it's like, come on, man. I mildly care what you dressed up as this year because it's like something to look at. But I don't care that you were Han Solo last year. But yeah, that's my one grievance. I just want to get that off my chest. So if you're listening and Facebook gives you a memory from last year, don't post it. No one cares.
Because Josh hates you.
Yeah. I will unfriend you. Probably not. I don't really unfriend people.
What's like the smallest thing you've unfriended someone for?
I don't really unfriend people, but I don't unfriend people. I just block them. Because I use Facebook as like my way of communicating with people. Like if I, for whatever reason, needed to contact someone I worked with 12 years ago, I can just go on Facebook and message them. But there was this one guy who, obviously we went to musical theater for college. And it was like every day there was another post about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I was just like, I am so sick of looking at Tim Curry in drag. I'm blocking you. I don't need to hear about it anymore. I'm sick of looking at those lips, like the poster with the big red lips. I'm just like, I'm sick of it. I get it. You like it, but stop sharing it with everyone. It's not even that good of a movie.
I've never seen it.
It's not great. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. It has a cult following. It's it's kind of like The Room in a way. It's not, I shouldn't say it like that. Much better in quality than The Room. It's actually a Broadway musical that was successful, but then there was a movie version of it, and that has like the same cult following as The Room. So like a room showing, people throw spoons and stuff like that. They shout out lines with the movie. It's the same thing with Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Have you seen like a live showing of The Room?
No, I don't like that movie enough.
Yeah, I
ever give it my time again.
Adrian dragged him to that, and I didn't realize there was a big thing about spoons.
Oh, yeah?
And people were throwing spoons, and
were they plastic or metal?
Some people had metal, because I heard the clanging. I got hit a few times with spoons. I was getting so upset. I was ready to, like, get up and punch the guy behind me. I swear it was him. He looked like he couldn't throw very well. So that's why I got spoons going like past my head every other scene.
Yeah, that's the. I think that's the only thing I've unfriended someone over. Nothing else is coming to mind. Have you unfriended someone for something small?
There's a whole. I don't like when people post their day schedule. Like, oh, just finished work. I'm gonna hit the gym, and then I'm gonna order pizza.
That sounds great.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear like, oh, I'm going to go to work today, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. Oh, yeah. Well, here's another one I just thought of. There was one guy who would post like just pictures of girls in like lingerie all the time.
That's weird.
It's weird, and it's also like now I can't go on Facebook at work, like, and so I ended up blocking him.
To be fair though, these people that you're blocking, that unfriending. Do you really care? Do you think
that was the thing. That was one of them where I was like, I actually care. Like when he doesn't post that stuff, like he posts other stuff that I find interesting. But
which is guys,
yeah, guys in lingerie. But yeah, so that was another one. What else you got?
Just the schedules thing.
Just
or people that I guess I block people for like just posting all these things I should be protesting. It's like you should sign this.
Yeah,
because it's not right. It's like I get that it's not right, but I come on Facebook to not deal with that stuff.
Well, and it's so easy on Facebook too to share, and like people tend to share just like because they read the article title and they didn't actually read the article.
Yeah.
Or they're reading the article, but it's not actually from a legitimate news site.
Like The Onion.
Yeah.
Well, like some of the things she posted was like something about SeaWorld or what was the other one? That weird dog thing in like Thailand or some Asian country where they
eat the dogs.
Yeah, there's like a festival where you just eat dogs. It's like you should sign protest against it. It's like I'm against it, but it's like a completely different culture, and like your petition isn't going to do shit.
Well, no. Speaking of petitions that don't do anything, did you see this week that someone paid money for a billboard to rehire James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
See, I don't look at Marvel news anymore because I just expect you to tell me about them.
Yeah, we'll just talk about them on here.
Wait, they got a billboard?
Yeah, so they paid $4,000.
That's a lot of money.
In Anaheim. So I think that's in California. So it's right outside of Disney World.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that a relevant place to put that?
Well, that was the thing. I read about it today, and then they actually talked about it on Screen Junkies News today. And then so they're actually from LA, and they're like they're obviously not from LA because they would know that no Disney executive is anywhere near Disney World at any time. But anyway, it's actually kind of interesting because like the people who were behind it were very like realistic about it. And it's just like, yeah, we know it's not going to do anything, but it's just kind of like we just wanted to show him our support and
okay, showing that we care.
Yeah.
All right,
but still, that's a waste of money. But
it is 100% a waste of money. Well, if you have money to burn, it's a good way to do it.
I guess so.
Or you can forward it to my address, which
the following P.O. box. Someone asked Kevin Feige this week. I think he was getting an award for being an awesome producer. I think someone was basically like, I have time for 3 questions with Kevin Feige. And so he like asked Twitter, what should I ask him? And so he just posted the answers. You can figure out what the questions are based on the answers if you want. So question 1, Avengers 4 trailer will happen before the end of the year.
Okay, I think I have a rough idea what that question would have been.
Yeah, so when do you think it would be? Probably November, right?
Wait, what's the next movie they're doing?
Captain Marvel.
When's that?
March.
Damn it. Okay, I'd say before Christmas.
Yeah.
Like December.
When did the Infinity War trailer come out? Was it was right around this time of year, right?
I have no idea.
I think it was end of November.
My sense of time nowadays are just terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so that's good news. I kind of expected it before the end of the year anyway, so it's not really news. The other one was just Guardians 3 is on hold for the time being, which we kind of knew. We knew that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah. We talked about it in the last episode, maybe. I don't know.
Just testing you. Make sure you
And then the other one was Namor could show up in the MCU.
No one cares about Namor.
I care a little bit. Namor could show up in the MCU. It's more deciding if and when he will.
To see like half his army disappear. It's like, damn it. What the hell are those land dwellers doing?
It's kind of weird though because DC kind of beat them to the punch because he's pretty much Aquaman. He I mean, their personalities are not the same at all, but it's the same world, same kind of power
You
set
think they're
and
going to
stuff.
give him the Spock haircut?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
That'll save him a lot of money in the water effects too, because it'll be just stuck to his head like a helmet.
Yeah, just give him the buzz cut look. So who? Well, I guess we can talk about who do you think should play him, and how do you think they should introduce him?
I don't know actors, man. Someone.
You don't know actors? Okay.
All right. How about a white dude
A white dude?
with some dark hair so they can save money on the hair dye process,
Okay.
and get someone that's
Why are you Bolivian again?
Is that Bolivian?
Your version of Bolivian.
I'm practicing my accent for Van Riva. I forgot his name. Van Riva. I don't even know why I'm saying it like that. All right.
Count Van Riva from Louisiana.
I'm a gambling man, you see.
You lost it. You lost the accent. Oh, man.
But
Okay.
I don't know. It could be.
How would you introduce him, though? We'll figure out casting later.
You know, I'm drawing a blank on this right now. I blame the drinking.
Okay. Do you want me to take a shot at it?
Yeah, take
Okay.
it.
Well, first, I would cast Daniel Day Kim. Do you know who that is?
I have no idea what that is.
You want to look him up? He's an Asian actor. He's most probably known for playing Jin on Lost.
That'd be interesting.
And he's on Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, he was in the Hulk. The original Hulk.
Oh, was he?
2003 Hulk. Yeah, apparently.
He's probably just some army guy. Like he's not someone who gets lead roles because he's Asian.
Ugh, I know my people. Oh wait,
Well, he was in Spider-Man 2 as well. Oh, look at that. So he's no stranger to the genre. So that would be my pick for him because like he can. I know you haven't watched Lost, but he can play kind of like the arrogant jerk really well. There's times in that show when his character he had no idea what he's thinking and he was just kind of a jerk to people.
Actually, I could totally see him as
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's even got the bod for it. No stranger to working out there, eh, Kim?
Again, he usually just plays like an army guy or somebody else. It's only on TV that he kind of started getting leading roles. Actually, you can see the third movie there is Hellboy, the new one coming up.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
He was the one they recast because did you hear about that controversy where they hired the guy who played the bad guy in Deadpool, Francis, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he found out that the character in the comics was actually Asian. So he was like, I'm not doing that. You should hire an Asian actor. So they hired Daniel Day Kim after them. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just like all of a sudden he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was after Twitter kind of freaked out because he was white playing an Asian role. But yeah, so Daniel Day Kim will be in that one. But anyway, that's my pick for it. So how I would introduce him, you either do it through Fantastic Four or Black Panther, I think. I don't think you give him his own franchise.
Isn't he doesn't he have a grudge against Wakanda or something like that in the comics?
Yeah, there was one point where they were at war with each other. And that would be an interesting movie, like if it was like a wartime movie and it was like from Black Panther's perspective, like as king, how does he deal with being in war? Which I think would be interesting, but at the same time, every time we've seen Wakanda so far, there's been some sort of large-scale army battle. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that maybe could get a little tiresome, but I think that would be kind of cool, especially if you like play Namor as a realistic character, not just like a bad guy. And then the other way you could do it is he has strong ties to the Fantastic Four. He has a thing for Sue Storm, so you could just introduce him in that.
Kind of cool if he like just came out like he was introduced in Black Panther and it was Shuri as Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Black Panther or T'Challa is a pile of dust.
Yes, but like imagine he came and was like, you land dwellers, what have you done to my army?
Yeah, he'll sound like that.
They've turned to dust. Fish food.
Oh yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Like he comes out and he's just like,
and for some reason
this is all your fault. Like,
yeah. Wakanda's like, yo, man, we lost a bunch of people too. What the fuck? And he's like, I see you are familiar with English.
I too speak English.
It's been a while since I've come up here. It's kind of turned into like Deckard Cain.
Stay a while and listen. They officially I don't know if it's official, but it was rumored that they figured out what movies Marvel is going to be doing next year.
Oh, snap.
So Black Widow, May 1st.
That's a movie?
Yeah.
I thought it was that TV show thing they were streaming or whatever.
No, she's getting her own movie. Yeah, remember, did we talk about it? I can't remember what episode we talked about it in, but it was supposed to be like, it's 1999 and she's fighting the Y2K virus. Yeah, I think it was in our last
we did
episode.
talk about that.
Yeah.
I think it was right before I left for Iceland.
Anyway, Black Widow, May 1st, and then Eternals, November 6th.
Right, the Eternals.
And we talked about Eternals about a few weeks ago.
I'm assuming I had the same reaction.
Yeah, because we were both like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's Marvel, and I'm sure it'll be at the very least good.
You can see I'm almost uninformed about it.
Yeah.
Like at the average consumer of movies.
Mm.
Marvel.
Anyway, so that happened. Let's go through that.
We'll just glide on past my bad joke. All right.
Yep. I'm just going to skip that. Oh, yeah. So speaking of the series that you mentioned a second ago, the new one that's rumored is a Falcon Winter Soldier series starring Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan.
What is it going to be like, 40 minutes of them hating each other?
Yeah.
Actually, I would watch that. 100%.
Yeah, that's like the one I'm most excited about. And then the other news was that the Scarlet Witch one is probably not just Scarlet Witch, that it's a Scarlet Witch and Vision.
I liked my idea better.
So that means certain things, though. Like, because the Falcon Winter Soldier one, that can be a prequel or it can be after Avengers 4. I mean, both of them are dust right now, but they could come back. But Vision, he very clearly died before the snap.
Maybe he'll come back just dumber, and he's just Jarvis, no stone. Ooh. Ooh.
Well, he did turn white, which is an
I don't see
outfit.
race, Josh. Wait.
He turned, which is an outfit he had in the comics. So it was kind of gray in the movie. But
I would have taken gray over that weird green and red face.
You don't like that?
It's like a baboon's ass.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
Are baboons, don't they have blue butts? I feel like we've had this conversation before. Baboons have blue butt. It's hard to say.
Is it?
Yeah. Blue butts.
I'm not even going to try it.
Baboons have blue butts.
Great. Now I have to look this up.
Look up. Just type in baboon.
I think you even spelled baboon wrong.
Baboon butt. It's okay.
It's red.
They got red.
It's red.
Why don't you do a full image search? Because I swear that there's a blue butt baboon.
I would even on some kind of list because of this.
Yeah, that one's blue. That one's disgustingly blue.
This one looks like he has a friggin' tumor.
Oh.
Hemorrhoid, sorry. Mazaka and her injured butt. Stop taking pictures of her. Damn it. Come on. It's already embarrassing that she has an injured butt. This is on YouTube. Oh, never mind. Hey, there's turkeys with red butts.
Well, this digressed down the tubes.
No, check this out. It's a baboon's butt compared to a woman's lips. Really, really like plastic surgery set of lips.
Oh boy.
Okay, I want to close this tab. How about that? That's
just you delete your search history too.
That won't save me from those government lists.
Yeah, that's all.
Josh comes into these podcasts with like lists of subjects to talk about, and I
only hit like 4 out of the 10 that I do. Okay, this is the last one, and then we can play our game. So, do you know who Ja Rule is? Have you heard of him?
Ja.
Yeah. So
I've heard of him, but I have no idea what.
Yeah, I don't know any of his music. If you told me he did that song, I'd be like, oh, good for him. Apparently, 50 Cent bought out.
Wait, you can't say it like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're white.
Because I'm white. 50 Cent.
Yeah, all
right. He bought out $3,000 worth of his tickets in the front row so that they would be empty.
Is that?
Because they were like on Groupon for like $12 or something like that. So he bought like 4 or 5 rows.
Is that a dick move?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know. I'm just like, you're still supporting the guy.
I guess it is kind of like.
Paid for them.
Yeah. He still gets the money, but at the same time, it's like. It's like no one's listening. And so like the fans who do want to listen to Ja Rule, they have to sit like in the back.
Can you imagine like he's like one guy snuck up in that row, so it's like 50 Cent and this one other dude.
Oh, he's not going to the show. But anyway, I found that funny because that's
the kind of shit that I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had the money for
If
it,
I had the money for it.
you just drop 3,000 is not that much money either.
Yeah, it's like what? An hour for him? An hour's worth of work for him?
You probably wouldn't even have to do that. You could probably just, how many tickets do you want to buy? Quantity, and then just. Maybe it would take an hour for you to select which seats you want. Like,
he's hired a bunch of like dudes just to like buy out seats for him with him. Got like 10 computers lined up in his studio.
It's like, are you sure you want to buy 5 dozen tickets? Yeah. It's probably more than 5 dozen.
They should put a limit
It's
on
like
that.
60 tickets.
It's a lot of tickets. Actually, 60 now. I don't want to get into details of how many seats a row of seats. I can't even talk. This whiskey and tequila is.
It's going to be great. We're going to, we should move on though. So this week we're going to play a game. It's called Love It or Hate It. Victor and I both watched a movie and we're going to flip a coin. And then one of us has to love the movie. The other one has to hate it.
I had a quarter here.
Yeah, you did. Go ahead and do it.
Am I sitting on it?
Are you sitting on it?
I guess.
So the movie we watched this week was Commando, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Victor's going to flip a coin. So heads, Victor loves it. Tails, I loved it.
Oh, why you got this cool side of the coin? Heads is so boring on this.
Okay, well, do you want to switch?
No, fine. All right. That's not. All right.
What is
I love
it?
Heads.
You love it, so I hate it? All right.
I was worried because I would have to hate it. Like, that's one of my favorite movies.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Do you want to start?
It's Arnold's best movie. It's everything that I would want in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Okay.
You see him beat up a bunch of dudes, get a bunch of guns, and then murder a bunch of people. He literally murders an island's worth of people.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
A small army. Well, Victor, I hated this movie.
I don't see why you would. Terrible
Probably
decision.
for all the same reasons.
That it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
All right, so let's get to the plot. So what is the plot of this movie for people who haven't seen it?
You're better at this than I am, so you go for
All
it.
right. So Schwarzenegger plays a character named John Matrix.
Oh, I forgot. That's a terrible name.
I know, right?
I mean, wait. That's the perfect
See that
name.
right there? That's like the trend in like the old action movies where they have like kind of a cool last name that you've never heard of before that no real person would actually have, and then their first name is John. So John Rambo, John McClane.
Oh, whoa!
John Matrix.
I didn't connect those Johns together.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
There's a lot of Johns.
What's his name in Demolition Man? John
Cena.
No, it's Spartan. John Spartan.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a trend. So that's dumb. This whole movie is aggressively dumb, Victor.
It is. It is, but that's the charm.
Okay. Well, anyway, sorry, I'm doing the plot. So John Matrix, he is like a retired commando. That's the name of the movie.
He said it. He said it in the review.
He's a retired commando who is now living with his daughter, who's probably
13.
13?
14.
13. Played by Alyssa Milano.
Oh, you know the name too.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of the actors. Anyway, so he's retired, and for some reason, his old team has been being murdered, and so that causes his old boss, Colonel Kirby, to show up at his house and
That's
be
a
like,
terrible
"Hey,
name.
man, people are being murdered, so you better watch out." And immediately he gets attacked and kidnapped, and they take his daughter and they say, "Hey, man, you need to go kill this dictator, or we're gonna kill your daughter." And so they put him on a plane. They put him on a plane, and he escapes from the plane.
Wrong.
He escapes from the plane. I'm still doing the plot, Victor.
Okay, fine.
He escapes from the plane, and then he has 11 hours, because that's when the plane lands, and they find out he's no longer on the plane. So he has 11 hours to find his daughter and rescue her. And that's the plot of Commando.
It's fantastic.
So this movie's dumb, Victor.
Yeah, but that's why it's amazing. Like,
Okay.
it cuts out all the bull crap from like modern action movies. Oh, we have to develop the characters. No, man. How about we just put Arnold Schwarzenegger in a town, city where he has to get guns to save his daughter?
Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. So they start this movie with a montage of Arnold's
The
old...
montage is terrible.
It starts off, Arnold walks through the forest, right? And he's just carrying a tree on his shoulder. Like a whole tree. He's chopped it down. He's carrying a chainsaw on the other hand.
Yeah, he
And he's-
barely have his arm around it.
Yeah. And he's just walking, and that happens throughout the entire movie. Arnold just has these feats of strength that are beyond Olympian, that are superhuman, and no one bats an eye at it.
Because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
At one point, he rips a phone booth out of a wall and with a guy in it and holds it above his head and smashes it down.
That's so badass.
I mean, is it though, Victor? It's kind of
is.
dumb. It's
No.
inconsistent too.
No, it makes sense. The guy can carry a tree. If he can lift a tree, he can lift a telephone booth. And the guy, who was the guy? What's his name?
Which
I'm really
guy?
bad with names. The
Which-
guy that was in the phone booth, the little like
Sully.
nasally dude. Sully. Yeah, he's like my height, if not shorter.
Yeah.
He's a tiny man.
Okay, I'll give you that, but he still ripped a phone booth out of the wall. A payphone, by the way.
You know they
And
don't
and for
make,
those of you who listening don't know what a payphone is, when we were younger, no one had cell phones, so you had to actually go to a physical phone that was in a tiny booth that you would go and pay a quarter to make a phone call.
Sometimes it was more depending on where you're calling.
Yeah, and he ripped it out of the wall with a person in it, so it's like a tiny elevator car that he's ripped out. It's ridiculous, Victor. But anyway, let's get back to the montage. So he comes back to his house with a giant tree, and he's chopping wood, and someone is sneaking up on him, but it's his daughter.
Yeah, I know. Shame.
And then
Could have started
so-
the movie off with a good murder.
Yeah. And so they go into a montage, and it's the cheesiest montage to make you believe that they have chemistry, which they don't really. Also, so you know that he loves his daughter.
You know why they don't have chemistry, Josh?
Why?
Because they don't spend 40 minutes of the movie building that up.
Yeah, but I
They don't
mean,
need that
like,
crap.
like they don't. Anyway, so the montage is so cheesy. It's showing they're going fishing. They're eating ice cream. There's literally a shot of them feeding a deer together.
She's Cinderella. This is a prequel to
And
Cinderella.
he's teaching her how to do Taibo or karate or something like that at one point because he's
Yeah.
Arnold.
Mhm.
He's a commando. Anyway, so all right, but before this, we see all of Arnold's old teammates get murdered. The first one is with someone comes out of a garbage truck, shoots him down in the street.
Yeah, but the worst part is the guy who gets shot down. He's coming, like he's carrying the garbage cans. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss garbage day. I better get down there quick in my pajamas. Oh,
and he's like, "Oh, I thought you'd miss me," and they're like, "Don't worry, we won't." It wasn't Arnold. It was Bill Duke, that character. Yeah. So he dies. The next one is Bill Duke is in a Cadillac dealership, and he's talking to the car dealer, and he turns on the car and he runs the guy over and just takes off in the
he
car.
doesn't actually run him over. He
He hits him.
yeah, but like the guys on the hood, they go through like the showroom glass
Okay.
onto the streets, and he just rolls off. That's not a good death. I thought these guys would be commandos.
Well, he does. He doesn't. He doesn't even check though if he's dead.
Yeah,
He had a
could've just
job.
had like terrible, like he just got like a concussion and some scratches from like the glass.
You know, he could just be unconscious.
Drives off. He's like, "Yep, he's totally dead." Crosses off this list. in his
Well, then
pocket.
that's the next one is they show this guy named Bennett getting into his little steamboat,
Bennett.
and then he just kind of sees I think his name is Cook. That's Bill Duke's character. He's a bald guy in the suit. He's killed the last two guys.
I can see him as a cook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Name's
a
Cook.
chef's hat, hide the hair, loss.
So anyway, he sees him and then he's like, "Oh," he gives him kind of
Winky.
like a wink, and then he goes under the deck and his boat blows up. And spoiler alert, he comes back less than 10 minutes later. What a twist. He was the one orchestrating it all. And so that's kind of dumb. Why even bother showing that? What a waste of money. You blew up a boat. Like, this isn't like modern. This is the 80s. So they actually blew up a boat. What a waste of money.
And it's not even for like Arnold's. Like it's not to fool Arnold. It's for us.
Yeah.
10 minutes of chewbackery.
Chewbackery?
Chewbacca. Damn it.
Do you mean debauchery?
Damn it. English is my first language. It technically
Anyway.
isn't.
So Colonel Kirby shows up at the house and he's like, he's Schwarzenegger's old boss. And he's like, "Hey man, your old team is getting murdered."
Exact words.
Yeah. And he's like, "So I brought these two army guys. They're going to protect you. They're going to check the perimeter right now."
And Arnold's like, "Ooh, these guys,
Are they good? And he's like, "They're the best."
the goddamn Boy Scouts
But
compared to me."
he's like, they're the best. Don't worry. You're going to be fine. I'm going to go get on my helicopter. Gets on his helicopter. Terrorists immediately attack them. Like the helicopter's not even off the horizon. And one of the army guys gets shot. Actually, they both get shot, but one of them survives his wounds. And then so Schwarzenegger's like, I gotta go get my rifle. It's in the shed. He's like, are you fine? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'll live. He dies
immediately.
By the way, these guys were the best.
Of the best.
The best of the best.
Of the best.
Sir. With honors.
Captain America over here. It's a Men in Black reference. If y'all haven't watched that movie.
So anyway, Arnold immediately abandons his child and he says, hey, go to your room and hide. I'm going to go get my gun. I lost my accent. But anyway, so he goes and runs off.
What accent?
Arnold doesn't have an accent.
You're right.
I'm sorry. I'm derailing this shit.
So he runs off and hides. And then he meets a guy in Jenny's bedroom. And he's like, hey, man, it's fine. Just roll with the program and everything will be okay, right?
Wrong. Immediately shoots him in the head.
100%
sets the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. So anyway, so he looks out the window and they've already taken Jenny. They're driving down the hill in vans. So he runs out and his truck has been sabotaged. All the cords have been ripped out.
Oh, no.
So what does he do? Victor, he pushes his truck downhill. He jumps in it, puts it in neutral, jumps into the truck and pushes it downhill. Just is another, let's show how strong Arnold is feat.
To be fair, pushing a vehicle in neutral isn't that tough.
No, it's not that tough, but it's like, anyway, so they show that.
Anyway, he shouldn't be struggling as much as he did.
He has 2 chances to run into them. 2 chances, Victor. He misses both times. Second time results in him flipping the truck that he's in. It catches on fire and explodes.
But he gets away because he's so fucking badass.
And so he goes out and he fights a bunch of guys and they beat him up and they trank him. And surprise, Bennett, the guy we thought died in the steamboat, was the one behind it. He's the main thug.
Oh no, Bennett.
Can we talk about Bennett for a second? How dumb he is. I'm pretty sure
his
he's
character or like visually how he's dressed.
Okay, well, there's both. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's do his weird mesh vest. It's so stupid. I can't think of an 80s or 90s movie that had that terrible of a dress.
I looked this up. And so the reason why this guy, Vernon Wells, plays Bennett, and the reason why he's got this really tiny vest, this mesh chainmail vest that he's wearing, tank top, actually. It's a tank top. The reason why is because they had another actor playing the character until the first day of shooting.
Oh,
and then they fired him.
Was it because he had like really sensitive nipples and he made like airflow to him?
They don't say who it was either. But anyway, they fire him and they hire Vernon Wells to replace him. And Vernon Wells is like 2 feet taller than this guy. So it's just like this tiny little vest. And they're like, we don't have time to change the costume. Just put it on. And by the way, he's a big guy. Like he's imposing. Like if you saw him in real life, I would not mess with him.
If he was wearing that tank top, it'd be hard not to mess with him.
But when you compare him to Arnold, he looks chubby. So yeah, he's not really that imposing, and he looks like Freddie Mercury on steroids. Like he's just got like this almost handlebar mustache, short dark hair. He's Australian too. But anyway, I'm pretty sure he's in love with Matrix.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Aren't you? Are you not by the end of the movie?
No. Because there's like parts in the movie. There's a part in it where he's talking about one of the bad guys, army guys, comes up to him. He's just like, "Hey man, I love killing little girls, right? Right?" And he's like, "Shut up," or whatever. And then he talks to the leader, and he's just like, "Yo, army, he's kind of weak. Me and Matrix, we could kill them all. Me and Matrix, we would just come in and we would kill them because we're best friends. Me and Matrix. Then afterwards, we would, get a steak together.
We'd share it.
Smoke a cigar, get a massage. Get a steam together. See where the night takes us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in love with Matrix.
I'm annoyed that I pictured every one of those scenes that you just described. I hate you.
He's just like, isn't this the life matrix? You're my best friend.
They're in the sauna together.
I don't know why I'm going New Zealand when he's Australian,
but they're sharing one towel to cover their privates.
The only man better than me is John Matrix.
I wouldn't choose any other man.
And then towards the end of the movie, he has a pretty quick flip into psychotic. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk to that when we get there. So Arnold wakes up after being kidnapped, and they're like, "Hey, man, we got your daughter." And then they explain the plot to him, and they hook him up with these two guys. One of them is to make sure he gets on the plane. The other one is to make sure that he stays on the plane. So the first guy we talked about earlier is a little short guy, Sully, played by David Patrick Kelly. He's just basically wearing a zoot suit. Like he's got pants that go up past his belly button. They're like touching his nipples.
Selection for wardrobe wasn't very big back in the day, so they were probably Arnold's.
Yeah, probably his pants. There's his capri pants.
Even his coat doesn't fit him.
No, it's huge. Well, I mean, it was the 80s, but come on. Get a timeless suit. Anyway, so that's Sully, and the other guy, I can't remember his name, but he's this big black guy who has the worst afro. He's like balding, and it's just like hanging down. Yeah, it's like his shoulders. It's like a mixture between like an afro and a mullet. Yeah,
and a balding
so anyway,
middle-aged man.
They get on the plane, and Arnold kills him immediately. Like they haven't even taken off.
Wait, he wasn't sleeping?
No. Oh, you. I'll let you do the one-liners because you're the one who's supposed to love this movie. So anyway, he kills him immediately. Like, what kind of terrorist is that? It just gets punched out immediately.
Well, he elbowed him.
He elbowed him in the face.
You see Arnold's arms? Oh, crap, you can make a movie with just one of those.
Yeah. Anyway, I hated this movie. Knocks him out.
Yeah.
And then immediately, Arnold's the stewardess is like, "Hey, what's wrong with your friend?"
"Oh, don't wake my friend. He's dead tired."
So dumb.
So good.
And then he gets up, and this is actually my favorite underrated line in the movie because he delivers it so poorly. And I like to think it's in character, that the character is just terrible at lying. But the stewardess is like, "Sir, you need to sit down while we take off." He goes, "I'm airsick." They haven't taken off. He's already airsick. And so he goes to the back of the plane, takes an elevator down to the bowels of the cargo. Ugh. And then he jumps off. He gets onto the wheel of the plane, and as it's taking off, he jumps into like a swamp, basically.
How convenient.
Well, yeah, convenient that it's there. By the way, he jumps like 100 feet, and I paused it. Okay, he lands. He doesn't even get his shoulders wet. That's how shallow this water is. He lands in a pile of reeds, and he just gets up, and he's completely dry from the chest up.
Well, you don't want to like ruin the movie for the audience. Like, you don't want to have the audience focus so much on his wet pecs. So he probably did, but for the sake of the movie, they didn't.
Okay.
Or maybe you can argue it that he works out so much that he's got those nice, soft, cushy toots.
Okay. Anyway.
Just pulses when he lands.
Oh man. So he goes inside the airport, and Sully is there. He's already notified them that he took off on the plane. Sully immediately shows his true colors and starts hitting on the closest woman beside him, which is her name is.
You really know her name too?
Cindy, I think her name is.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna pull the actress's name.
Oh, you ready for it?
Oh no.
It's something.
That doesn't count.
Dawn Kim. Rachel Dawn Kim.
Really? Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Anyway, so he immediately starts hitting on her, and she's like, "No, thanks, you're a creep." It really shocked me, actually, because like they could get away with, like, clearly he's a bad guy, and they're like playing it up, but it's kind of like, yeah, that's how men act now. Like,
it's true.
Like she's on the phone trying to make a date with someone else, and he's just like, "Hey, look over here.
Pay attention to me."
Like, I'll be your date. And then so anyway, she gets off the phone, and she's like, "Please leave me alone." And he follows her to her car. And he hits on her one last time, and she's like, "Please leave me alone." And he's like, "You're a whore," and leaves. And I was like, that's really that's a little bit too relatable to what men are like nowadays.
Oh, I thought you said like, oh, it's too relatable. I call people whores all the time.
No. Little do they know that Schwarzenegger is following both of them to her car.
I'll kill them both.
Yeah. So he's following Sully because he needs information from Sully, and
Where's my daughter?
he's the closest contact. And so anyway, he goes to the girl who was just verbally assaulted by Sully, sneaks up behind her, says, "Hey, don't move." Then says, "Get in the car, you're gonna follow him." Rips out her front seat
With his big guns.
because so he's lower to the ground. He couldn't hunch.
Well, no. You see how big of a man that guy is?
Anyway, so
It's like the same size as the damn
he rips
car.
out her front seat, so he can just sit on the floor of the car.
That's an alpha move right there.
Yeah. I hated this movie.
I love this movie.
And anyway, so he's like, "Follow him. Do it. Come on. Do it."
He's right there.
By the way, I watched this on Blu-ray. And did you watch this recently, or are you just going by memory?
I watched it like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Just for kicks. Because you
Obviously.
love this movie?
I love this movie.
Yeah.
100%.
Anyway, so I watched this on Blu-ray. So this movie did not age well when it went into high definition because they spent like most of the outside driving shots. It is not the actors. And it's very obvious that it's not them driving. Normally, like if you had seen this when it came out back in the 80s or you saw it on VHS, you wouldn't notice because the film would be so grainy. But like it's really noticeable.
Oh, you remember when we watched Terminator
Yeah.
on Blu-ray? And like one of the scenes, like it's Arnold, like it's the first scene with Arnold, and he's naked after he teleports from the future. And on VHS,
You don't notice it.
You wouldn't notice his penis is there.
Yeah, he's just hanging trout. What is it? Hanging trout? I don't know the phrase is.
His penis is out.
That's
And
probably it.
And it's cold.
You could say he was going commando.
All right.
Anyway, back to it. He ripped her car. So they follow him. They follow him to the Galleria, the mall. He goes up there. By the way, Arnold has not explained himself at all to this girl.
Follow him. I tell you nothing.
Exactly. And she's like she literally says to him at one point, like, "Are you going to kill me?"
Probably.
And he's like, "No."
Oh.
And then she's like, "Wait, you probably wouldn't tell me." And he's like, "No, I would. I would tell you if I was going to kill you."
That's not
She's
terrifying at all.
Exactly right.
He's
And
so
then-
badass.
And then so anyway, she told her nothing. And then so anyway, he pulls her into the mall. And says, "See that guy who was just trying
The creepy one.
the creepy guy."
Weasley looking motherfucker.
Yeah, in the zoot suit. In the suit that's 3 sizes too big for him.
And
He's like, "You need to go over there and pretend that you're into him. Tell him you're crazy about him."
Doesn't he tell him about his daughter too?
And he's like, "Oh, by the way, my daughter's been kidnapped. And,
Yeah, it's like
and I
it's
need
like a
your help.
footnote
You're my only
later
chance,
on.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But go over there." And she's like, yeah, okay, sure. And she goes over there and immediately finds a mall security guard. And it's like, "Hey, that guy just kidnapped me and whatever." For whatever reason, I can't remember why now, she changes her mind and she decides to side with Arnold.
I think because he sees that she sees that Sully runs away and starts calling. He's like, oh shit, maybe he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's not clear. I hate this movie.
Or maybe it was because she saw him throw 10 guys off. It's like, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That man's a brute.
Yeah, by the way, so she tells the security guard.
Like that.
She tells the security guard, and she's like, "Hey, there's that big guy." And so the security guard looks at him, and he's just like, "Yeah, I can't handle that myself." And so he's like, "Call every security guard in the building. We need to stop this guy."
So it's surprising how many security guards were in that mall.
I know, it must be a big mall, or maybe they called guys from the neighboring mall.
They got there quick though.
Yeah, and they apparently all have guns.
Yeah, why would security guards have guns?
Yeah,
I guess
anyway,
doesn't matter.
So
Shoot beanbags.
So he starts fighting the security guards because he's like, "I don't have time for this crap." And then Sully sees them. He's like, "Yeah, he's still there. Give me a quarter." And then so he runs to the payphone.
Give me a quarter.
He runs to the payphone, and that's when Schwarzenegger rips it out of the wall
Don't you dare make a call.
and throws it with him in it. So he tries to escape. At one point, Matrix rips a balloon that's hanging from. There's like these big long tube balloons hanging all over the Galleria. He rips one of them in half, and
mall.
Tarzan swings across the mall so that he can catch up with him.
The only way this scene could have been better is if he did the Tarzan scream call while he was swinging.
And by the way, this is so dumb. This is I hate this movie. It's so good. So Tarzan swings across.
I feel bad that you have to like hate on this movie.
It's so dumb.
That's what I was so worried about. It was like
it's so easy to hate on this movie. It's so dumb. Anyway, so he immediately goes out and his stuntman gets hit by Sully's car, but he gets right back up and gets back into the Ferrari. Or is it Ferrari?
It's like a weird, I don't know.
It was a little red sports car that he stole from Cindy. And so he just gets in. And then, by the way, Cindy runs out and she's like, hey, man, you're not leaving without me. And like, I don't know why, but he's just like, yeah, whatever, get in.
I guess it's your car.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling on me. I'll kill you later.
So he chases Sully and he runs him off the road.
Tattletale.
He runs Sully off the road. And then he crashes her car into a telephone pole.
Makes sense.
And the worst part of it is he runs into it. No airbags go off or anything. And they both do like the full like whiplash thing. He immediately like grabs him. He's like, are you okay?
Oh, man.
She just smashed her head off the dashboard.
Like the brake check when
She's
people don't
fine,
wear the
by the way.
seatbelts.
So anyway, he goes out. He grabs Sully. He finds a motel key in his pocket. But anyway, he do you want to tell this part?
He dangles him by his ankles over like on the edge of a cliff.
Oh, by the way, we didn't establish this, but when Sully and Schwarzenegger first met, Schwarzenegger said, "You're a funny guy, Sully. That's why I'm going to kill you last."
And as he's dangling on that cliff after being run off the road, Matrix, you said you'd kill me last. You remember? Wait, what was the line?
He says, hey, Sully, remember I said I was going to kill you last? He's like, that's right, Matrix, you did say that. He's like, I lied.
And then he drops like this ragdoll like dummy off. It's clearly a dummy.
And again, and watching it in high definition, you can clearly see the wire holding his leg up.
There's a wire?
Yeah, well, there's no way Schwarzenegger could lift a guy with one arm.
He carries a tree and rips a telephone booth out.
It's probably made of foam or balsa wood. I'm sorry to poke holes in the movie magic, Victor. I'm pulling back the curtain. But
it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Anyway,
son of a bitch.
He drops him off. And then I don't know what Cindy was doing, but her first line to him when he comes back, he's like, hey, what'd you do with Sully? And he says,
I don't remember.
He says, I let him go.
I love this movie.
And she's just like, oh, okay. But it's like you were 10 feet away from the whole interrogation scene.
She just got a concussion.
That's true.
All right.
She did just bash her head off the dashboard.
This movie has a lot of realism in it.
So anyway, they go to the motel. And they go to the motel and Matrix gets out of the car he has the hotel key. And Cindy gets out with him. And he's like, what are you doing? And he's just like, hey, man, I'm in it with you. And he's like, all right. And then she's just in it for the rest of the movie. Anyway, she goes into the motel room and he fights Cook. Bill Duke. They have this fight. Bill Duke brags that he's a Green Beret at one point. And so they
Green Berets for breakfast.
That's right. And so their fight, guns are going off. And then there's one point where he kicks Bill Duke through the adjoining door to the room next door. And there's a couple doing it. Because it's the 80s and they have to show boobs at some point. The funny thing was, I mean, not funny, it's stupid, Victor, because this is a dumb movie and I hate it. They're just having sex and guns have gone off. They've shot through that wall into their room and they don't notice until Bill Duke comes through the door.
Maybe there's some kinky people that go to that hotel.
There is a tricorder or tripod with a camcorder. In the room.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I missed that.
They're filming themselves. But anyway.
Nice. Evidence.
So
of the crime. Both crimes.
Matrix throws Bill Duke back in the room. He lands on a table leg and it goes through his chest. And I never noticed when I was a kid. I thought it looked like a pylon because it's just covered with blood. It's just bright red. I always thought it was a pylon. And I was like, how did that happen? It's not clear. It's a stupid movie.
interesting childhood you had there.
Yeah, we watched Commando when we were way too young.
And look, you're not a complete murderer yet.
Not yet,
Not yet.
as far as you know.
Ooh, I want to know more.
But actually, when we were kids, you know how like when you're a kid, like adults don't know what to talk to you about, so they're like, "Hey, what's your favorite video that you watch at home?" My sister would be like, "Commando."
Although, if I knew your family, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. Not in a bad
I
way.
can't remember what Cook does. Oh, he doesn't tell him anything. That's the thing. A dead end.
Yeah, well, he pulls a gun on him. He finally gets the gun after all that wrestling around.
Right.
He's like, fuck you. And he pulls the gun or pulls the trigger and it's empty.
Right.
And Arnold's like, fuck you.
So dumb. Good comeback. You just repeat what he said.
And then like what? He sucker punches him?
Yeah.
It's not a sucker punch. It's the right hook. Wait, this is the part where he flies through the wall?
This is after they went through into the couple with the couple was doing it. They're in their room.
I'm surprised we didn't hear any more about those couples after that happened.
I know, you would think that would traumatize them.
Yeah.
Or maybe it would like awaken something in them. Like they can only do it now where two Green Berets are fighting.
Wait, Arnold wasn't a Green Beret. He was a commando.
Oh, that's right. He ate Green Berets for breakfast.
He's not a cannibal, Josh.
Anyway, so they get nothing from Cook. So they're just like, well, let's go to, let's search his car. And they search his car and they find a fuel receipt for an airplane. And so they go to a warehouse where the receipt is from. And they do some searching.
Detective work.
By the way, when they get there, Arnold, there's a chain link fence with barbed wire on top.
Makes sense.
Closed shut, has a chain and a padlock on it. Arnold just grabs the chain and rips it off because apparently he's just that strong.
I mean, he carried a tree, ripped up a telephone pole, and carried a guy by his ankles over a cliff.
With one arm.
With one arm.
And that was his bad arm because at one point he says, Sally, I can tell you, this is my bad arm.
See? It makes total sense.
Anyway, so they get in and he's like, hey, yo, Sydney, go around back and I'll give you a signal. And he's like, I'm going to go in this way. And she's like, okay. And so he climbs up the wall and just rips a panel off the wall and climbs in.
Hey, Batman does that shit.
He's Batman.
He's better than that. He's like Bane. Roided up jock.
Anyway, I can't remember what happens there. Oh, and then they find the island where they're keeping Jenny. They find it on a map. Oh, this is the dumbest part though of this scene is he sneaks through the entire warehouse and he gets into the office where the guys are. He beats up one guy who's in there, puts him in the closet, and then he goes to the window and immediately just opens it and he goes, Cindy, come on in. And she's just there. And she climbs in immediately.
Well, she was there waiting.
Why didn't he climb in that window? Why did he have to go through the entire warehouse?
Listen, Josh, if he went through the window, the guy would have heard him and they would have immediately called all the guys into that room. And by the time he got in, it'd be like 30 dudes just waiting to get their asses kicked.
Okay, are we actually recording?
Yeah, we're actually recording.
Okay, so we took a break to get a drink and then just went through most of the rest of the movie and found out we weren't recording.
I swear it's not because we're a drink or two drinks, three drinks in.
They found out where the island was. That's where they're gonna go.
Yeah. And they go to this military supply store that looks like it could fucking supply an entire army.
Yeah.
With their fucking illegal weapons, rocket launchers, grenade launchers.
God bless America, right?
Are we just gonna blow through this because we've already done it?
No, it's okay. We'll get through it. So there's just like he opens the back room and there's like assault rifles and shotguns.
It's like a secret room too. They had to fucking press a button. Like, why couldn't it just be a locked room?
Because they're illegal. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But yeah, you shouldn't have. That's what they do.
I want to know the fucking clientele that goes in there. It's like, you know what? With the people that comes in here, we should stock rocket launchers and grenade launchers.
People want rocket launchers for when they go hunting, you know?
Oh, and they have fucking grenades in there.
Fifth Amendment. You can't take away our guns.
Did you say Fifth Amendment?
Yeah, that's the reminder. I don't have to speak to cops, right?
Is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure. I plead the fifth. That's what people say, right? That means that I reserve the right to not say anything.
As a Canadian,
I can't remember.
I don't need to know.
I don't know what the Constitution is. I know they wrote it in 1776.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed with your knowledge of just things that most people wouldn't know.
Exactly. Well, I think most people would know that.
No,
That's pretty.
No, it's not. It's not Moving on. Anyways, Arnold gets arrested at one point.
He gets arrested because he broke into the store with a bulldozer.
And he's filling the shopping cart full of weapons, vests, grenades.
He's spending way too much time in there. He's trying on clothes.
These pants make my ass look big. Wait.
He can't find the right size because he's a big guy, you know.
He's probably like one of those people that wear like fucking 38s. Wait. 40-inch waist.
Well, he has to find something that feels good against his bare butt because he's going commando.
Hey, Cindy, how does this make my crotch look? Oh my goodness, good.
I'll take it. And by the way, she's like, do you want to take a look at the t-shirts or anything like that? He's like, no, I don't need no shirts.
I don't even have to look at them. I know they won't fit my giant pecs.
So he gets arrested, but we're going to take a break here and move back to the bad guys at this point. Victor's laughing because I did this exact same point last time we talked about this. So anyway, they take Jenny to this big mansion on this island.
You say Jane?
I said Jane. Jenny.
Daughter?
Jenny.
Gotcha.
Jenny.
Oh, Jenny. No.
Jenny. Where's Jenny? Anyway, they take her to this mansion on an island, the island that they found earlier, and the bad guys, they put her in this room, and there's French doors that are boarded up on the one side, but there's nothing in this room. There's no bed or anything like that. It's just a blank room, and she just immediately just goes to the back wall and sits down and mopes
for 6 hours.
Well, that's fine, but then later on they cut back to her and she gets up and then she's like, I think I'm going to try escaping. But like, we know at this point that 6 hours has passed by because Matrix has looked at his watch and like he's got the countdown going.
To be fair.
Do it. Yeah.
If she had escaped earlier on, she wouldn't have made it too far. She would have got caught immediately and put back in that room.
That's true. Or just murdered.
See, the directors and writers thought about this.
I know, that's why the point is she sat against a wall for 6 hours. It's like she's in the exact same position. It's not even like she's like lying down when we come back to her and she's like, wait a minute or whatever. She's just sitting there moping. We still recording?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good. I just want to double check because I don't want to talk about this a third time. Anyway, and then also we haven't talked about, well, we have talked about, but we haven't talked about Arius, the main bad guy, who is played by Dan Hedaya. And it was at the time in movies when they would just cast white guys as foreigners. Because like, why would they actually hire a foreigner?
I mean, well, it's easy. Just paint their face a different color.
Yeah. And this guy, by the way, Dan Hedaya he's known for two things. His incredibly hairy shoulders. And he has the most epic butt chin in the world.
All right. You know what? I'm going to have to look this up because Dan Hedaya?
Oh.
Holy shit. That is a good butt chin.
Look at that. He looks like Richard Nixon.
Jeez, you could picture a turd coming right out of that. Holy shit. He plays Richard Nixon there.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Yeah. And he also has really, really hairy shoulders. There you go.
All right. It's not just shoulders.
He's wearing a sweater.
It looks like he looks like a cross between a bear and a human.
But anyway, I think he's Italian. I'm not sure. There's no way to find out. We can't fact check that. But
you'd be surprised what it means.
But
he's an American actor.
Usually they say
he's
Italian.
From Brooklyn.
But anyway, so he's playing this guy from this made up country called Valverde.
Is it made up?
Yeah, it's not a real country.
Oh.
In Central America. And so he's got a terrible accent and he's white and
terrible.
I lost my train of thought with him. But anyway.
The point is he painted his face slightly darker.
Yeah, so he'd look more Latino or Cuban or whatever he's going for. Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to Arnold. You want to take it from here so I can take a little sip?
Arnold's like, I'm being arrested.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm being arrested. is it what shit? What's her name?
Cindy.
Damn it! I was going to call her Jenny.
Jenny is his daughter.
Help me. And then Cindy pulls out the rocket launcher,
Right.
and she's like, "All right, I got this. I'm a professional. I'm a pilot. I can do this." And fires it off, holding it backwards, and immediately destroys a building behind her.
Yeah.
He's like, "Ah, shit!"
And that's another strike against this movie because she later said, because Arnold asked her, he said, how did you know how to do that? And she said, I read the instructions. Well, not well enough.
That's your argument against this movie, that we have liars.
It's dumb, or she didn't read it well
because the main
she's incompetent
because the good guys have lied. Arnold killing Sully first. Wait, shit, second instead of last, and Cindy reading the instructions. That's a weak argument, Josh.
Well, this movie's dumb and I hate it. But anyway.
So anyway, she blows up the police van.
Yeah,
that's holding Arnold. And he gets out unscathed. He's like, "Oh, that was crazy.
Let's go get my daughter. Let's go. Come on."
Also, the fact that he loaded everything into her car, this puny little like
sports car with no seat in the passenger side. By the way, he drives from then on after that, right? So she's just stuck sitting on the floor.
Maybe he gave her like a cushion, like a blanket.
There's no
or something.
cushion.
Okay, well,
she can sit on a box of ammo if she wants. But anyway, so it's rushing through this now. We get to the climax. They go to the island. Bill Paxton has a cameo, and this is Victor's favorite part of the movie, by the way.
Oh, it's the best part. It's if you don't have time to watch a 2-hour movie, hour and a half movie, just skip to the end. It's the best part.
Yeah, so this is like the last half hour of the movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Anyway,
he straight up murders everyone.
So I actually counted. It's like 70 people, or probably more because I lost count. But yeah, go ahead. Explain what happens, Victor.
Well, he jumps off this airplane. He swims to shore, unloads.
Right, because it's a seaplane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she lands in the water.
Yeah, with her floaty feet, airplane feet.
Actually, I just thought of something.
What?
Okay, when they're in the surplus store, he puts flippers in the cart, like swimming flippers.
Yeah.
He never uses them. So he's just like an impulse buyer. No, he doesn't use them.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just thought of this. Because I was like,
landed in the water. Are you sure he didn't?
He gets into a raft and
Son
goes
of
to
a bitch.
This movie's dumb because he impulse buys. He's just like, this is just a good deal. I'm not even going to use these. This is just, I just want this.
I mean, everything's free because he's stealing it. So everything's a wicked deal.
Like, you can just put anything in the car. See the candy bar? Just put it in. That's fine. We can get stuff we don't need on the mission.
Anyways, he paddles to shore, strips down,
does not use flippers that he picked up earlier,
and proceeds to murder.
Yeah, and so he mounts up. He puts everything that he stole from the store except for the flippers. and then he rushes in. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
He straight up starts mowing people down, machine gun style. Like,
he does it quietly first. He takes about 5 or 6 guys out with knives, and then he blows up a building.
And then he goes the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
He goes full commando.
Yeah, lobbing grenades back and forth, machine guns, just feeding the machine gun with a belt of bullets. Doesn't need to aim. He shoots from the hip.
Yeah,
and he counts each bullet. The first bullet will kill one guy, and then the third, fourth, and fifth bullet will scare the shit out of the next guy before I kill him.
This is how dumb the army is, though, because they're just like, they're in a courtyard just running at him. Like, no attempt to get behind cover or anything like that. Let's just run across this grassy knoll.
You want though? He's straight up throwing grenades, rocket launchering people. Oh, he doesn't use the rocket launcher.
Yeah, he does. He
does?
He blows up a gate with it. He goes to blow up a gate with it, and then then 5 guys show up behind him, and he's like, "What?" And turns around and fires one at them.
Oh, that's aggressive.
Yeah,
it's almost overkill.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he kills like over 70 people. He finally gets inside, and he's just kicking doors in and going, "Johnny!" and firing in the door. Jenny.
Oh, and at this point, Jenny has already escaped, and Bennett has already started chasing her down.
Yeah. This is Crazy Bennett, who is pretty much in love with Matrix.
And he went from like kind of gay Bennett to psychotic, angry, murdering dude.
Anyway, so Bennett's just chasing after her. He's like, "Hey, Jenny, me and your dad, we're friends. We're best friends. I gotta kill you though, even though I'm like kind of your uncle, even though we've never met." Me and your dad, back when we were younger, we were best friends. We would share a sleeping bag.
we used to share blankets when we were or towels when we were in the sauna.
Yeah, this
Bennett.
guy's like probably
Just
just
walking the line.
he's just probably deep in the closet and can't. He's too afraid to recognize that in himself.
Well, it's the 80s.
Yeah, you couldn't. You just couldn't be.
You'd have to leave
It
town.
was either you were suppressing it or you were like full on flamboyant gay in the 80s.
Shame he wasn't
Please
flamboyant.
Please don't send in emails. Matrix gets through the entire building. He kills Dan Hedaya Arias.
Oh, right, yeah. I drew up like, who's that guy?
Yeah, see, Victor's already forgot his name.
I'm drinking. Leave me alone.
And
All my fourth
and then
drink.
so now it's the showdown with Bennett. And he's like, "Hey Jenny, watch this. I'm gonna shoot your dad." So he shoots him in the shoulder and he's like, "Oh, did I clip you there, Matrix? Huh? Back when we were friends. We were best buds. I always shoot you in the arm." And then so
Oh, Bennett, that hurts.
Matrix has probably the best plan, but it's also the dumbest because I hate this movie. He just goes, "Hey, come on, Bennett. You don't want to shoot me with a gun. You want to stick the knife in me, right? You want to, because it's very phallic, right?" Like, it's very, it'll awaken some hidden feelings in you. He's like,
And you can see it. You can see in Bennett's eyes. Oh yeah.
anyway, so Bennett has like a total meltdown. And he's just like, "I don't need the gun. I don't need no gun.
I'm gonna stab you myself.
I'm gonna kill you now." And so they have a knife fight for about 5 minutes. They just
Not even.
punching each other.
You say a knife fight and then you immediately use punch?
Yeah.
Okay.
They punch each other.
Mhm.
And
I'm gonna fist you, Matrix.
the fight ends, despite Arnold only having one arm, manages to rip a lead pipe out of the wall and chuck it across the room through Bennett into a steam chain.
Not just through Bennett, through the metal chainmail
That's
tank
right.
top.
That's right.
He's pierced metal at this point.
And then into the
Twice, actually.
Yeah,
He pierced him twice.
What's the machine behind him? Actually, no, wait. Before we get there, there's a point in the fight where Matrix just kicks him into an electric fence. And Bennett screams like a little girl while he's being electrocuted and then just comes off of it. And like the
Immediately.
next cut is just him punching him. It's just like back into it. He's just
electricity really gets your adrenaline going.
oh boy. Anyway, so he throws a pipe through Bennett into some sort of thing.
I'm assuming like some kind of heating
Yeah.
pipe, and it lets off a bunch of steam.
And so what does he say, Victor?
Let off some steam, Bennett.
This movie's dumb and I hate it.
It's so amazing. Oh, I can't believe you have to hate on this movie. I feel so bad for you.
So he kills Bennett. That's the last guy. He's literally killed every living thing on the island at this point, except for Jenny. And by the way, he looks up at Jenny after he's killed him and said that killer line, by the way. And Jenny's just like, is beaming at him like, I just witnessed a murder. Like, I'm not going to be affected by this whatsoever.
Well, to be fair, he kidnapped her, so like, that's pretty traumatic already. But like seeing him murdered, that might neutralize things, bring it back down
Okay.
to a normal level.
And the final little bit of this movie.
I'd be fine if I saw someone murdered in front of me, probably as a kid.
No, you
Probably
probably
not.
wouldn't. Probably wouldn't. Anyway, the end of this movie is Colonel Kirby shows up on the island with all his army guys, and he's just like, "Did you leave anything for us?" He's like, "Only bodies."
So good.
And it's just like, yeah, we'll just forget that you just killed a bunch of people. This is an illegal attack on foreign soil. And oh, by the way, we'll forget about the assault on the cops and the mall security guards
I forgot
and
about
the 4 people you killed back in LA.
How do you know it was him? They have no.
They know it was him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, so then the movie ends. Anyway, that was Commando. I hated it.
Why did you hate it, Josh?
Well, for those reasons, all the reasons. We just went through the entire plot.
You hate the movie because of the movie? Everything of the movie?
Yeah, all the dumb things I mentioned.
I love that for every reason that he mentioned.
But
So
now that we've been through the entire movie, I should say this movie is like a love-hate thing. Like,
was it hard to hate on this movie?
not really, no, because all the dumb things that you would say you hate it for are the things that I kind of love about it. It's like all the things I said were true. It is aggressively dumb and like
It is pretty dumb.
And there's horrible one-liners. There's dumb physics and like
I'm going to
feats of
assume that you don't
strength.
mean what you're saying because those one-liners are amazing.
Well, they're really cheesy.
So good.
Yeah. But anyway, there's just dumb movie. But you know what? In reality, I kind of love it. It's a guilty pleasure for me.
I watch it every so often just because.
Just because.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a movie we watched a lot when we were growing up, and I think because as kids we related to Jenny. We were just like, man, I wish Schwarzenegger was my dad. You come kill 100 guys for me.
Thought, but
yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that was Commando. That was our first edition of Love It, Hate It. I'm sorry that Victor got so drunk.
No.
Well, anyway, we'll meet up next week. We'll do something else.
This has been a Love or Hate It. Love and Hate It. Do we have a title for this?
Love It, Hate It.
Love It, Hate It.
Spell it with a slash.
No slash. Love It, Hate It segment. And thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
No, you don't get to say bye.